All right, welcome everyone. Get ready because today we're going on a journey into one of the most profound and honestly most guarded secrets of existence. We're going to explore a teaching that says the very world around you, the chair you're sitting in, the air you're breathing, is being sustained moment to moment by a series of invisible holy currents. So let's dive right in.
I want you to picture this. Imagine King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, standing on his balcony as twilight sets in. The sun is just melting into the horizon, and the wind? Well, it isn't just wind to him. He can feel it carrying something deeper. He can almost hear the hum of creation itself. And it's in this moment that he says these famous words, "Vanity of vanities. All is vanity." Now, for centuries, we've been told this is a cry of despair, right? That life is meaningless. But what if we've had it all wrong? What if that wasn't a conclusion, but the beginning of a question?
And that's really the heart of our whole journey today. I mean, does it make sense that the man who could understand the language of animals and the secrets of the earth would just conclude that it's all for nothing? Or did he perceive something else, something we've forgotten how to see? The Zohar, the foundational text of all Jewish mysticism, tells us that hidden inside this supposed lament is actually the key to a cosmic secret. It's nothing less than the blueprint for the operating system of reality itself.
So, here's our game plan to unlock it. First, we have to decode what Solomon really saw. Then we'll uncover this incredible secret of the 7 breaths that hold up the universe. We'll explore what we're calling cosmic engineering, how it all works, and then look at its shadow side, the corrupted currents. We'll even break it down with a simple video game model. And then, most importantly, we're going to bring it all home and show you how you can use this knowledge to literally breathe life into your world.
Okay, first things first, we have to start by challenging a huge assumption we all make. To get to the real secret, the sod, we have to completely redefine one little word. The entire mystery, everything we're about to discuss, hinges on getting this one single misunderstood word right. And that word is Hevel. Yeah, for 2,000 years it's been translated as vanity, futility, emptiness. Hevel, Havelim, Vanity of Vanities. But in its deeper, mystical sense, Hevel means something totally different. It means breath, vapor, a subtle spiritual current. You know, like the steam that rises from a hot cup of coffee or the mists of your own breath on a cold morning. It's real, you can see it, but it's delicate, it's ethereal. And let me tell you, this isn't just a small change in translation, this changes everything. And boom, there's the shift. King Solomon wasn't saying it's all meaningless. He was saying it's all made of this subtle breath. He was telling us that the world isn't just a bunch of solid, separate things. It's a massive, interconnected web of these delicate spiritual currents. He wasn't describing an empty void. He was describing the incredibly fragile, vibrant, and constantly sustained nature of existence itself.
So, if the world is made of this breath, what does that actually look like? What does it mean? Now we get to the core of the teaching. This is where the Zohar opens up the hood and shows us the actual mechanics of this divine respiration.
And the magic number here, as you can see, is 7. The mystics teach that all of reality is upheld by 7 primary holy breaths, 7 Havelim. Now, we're not talking about literal air. Think of them as 7 distinct streams of divine energy that are constantly flowing from the very heart of creation just to keep the universe existing. Without this constant flow, poof, it would all just blink out of existence.
And here's where it gets really dynamic, because this comes straight from the Tikkun Zohar. This system isn't just a one-way street. It's a living, breathing duality. You've got 7 ascending breaths, the breaths of life, that build and sustain and give. But for each of them, there is a potential for a descending opposite current, the breaths of death. These carry judgment, restriction, ultimately chaos. This is the fundamental tension built into the cosmos. It's the engine of choice and consequence.
Okay, so the big question is, how does something as subtle and wispy as breath create the solid structure of our world? For all the engineers, architects, and systems thinkers out there, let's use our first model. We'll call it cosmic engineering. Imagine the universe is the most advanced operating system ever conceived. The 7 holy breaths, they're like the core background processes running silently. You never see them, but if they stop, the whole system crashes instantly. Each breath is a unique frequency, a carrier wave broadcasting specific divine information. So one frequency is constantly broadcasting the law of expansion and giving. Another one broadcasts the law of structure and boundaries. A third harmonizes them,
And together, all these layered frequencies resonate to create the stable illusion we call physical reality.
Now, for anyone familiar with Kabbalah, this maps directly onto the Tree of Life. Each of these 7 holy breaths corresponds to one of the 7 lower sephirot, the divine attributes that govern our world. So, for example, the first breath is pure chesed, or kindness, just this unrestrained, expansive flow of giving. But if you just have endless flow, you get a flood, right? So you need the second breath, gevura, or strength, which acts like a container to give that flow shape and form. Then the third, tiferet, or beauty, harmonizes them both. This is the divine architecture, the spiritual engineering that's holding up everything you see right now.
But remember what the Zohar said. For every one of those ascending, life-giving breaths, there's a potential for a descending, destructive one. So we have to understand, how does this perfect, pristine system get corrupted? What happens when this pure divine energy gets misused by us? Well, that's when the shadow system appears.
Let's go back to our tech analogy. The 7 holy breaths are those clean, silent background services that keep your computer running perfectly. They're efficient, stable, and healthy. But what happens when you, the user, click on a malicious link or download a suspicious file? You've just introduced malware, a virus, and that corrupted code starts generating errors, creating memory leaks, overloading the system, and eventually it can bring the whole thing crashing down.
Well, that technology is a perfect illustration of the spiritual reality. The sustaining breaths, the forces of Kedusha, or holiness, come from a place of pure divine goodness. The mystics even color code this energy as white, representing pure chesed, pure kindness. But here's the key. When we act out of selfishness or anger, we don't create some new evil energy. No, we take that pure white energy and we corrupt it, we twist it, and it turns red. This is called din, or harsh judgment. So an act of kindness releases a white breath that strengthens reality. An act of anger releases a red breath that introduces a glitch, an instability into the system.
Okay, I know, cosmic engineering can feel a little abstract. So let's shift gears to a second model, one that makes this whole thing incredibly personal and easy to grasp. Let's imagine for a minute that our existence is just the most advanced video game ever designed.
And the rules of this game are actually pretty simple. 1. The game world is powered by 7 fundamental energy streams. 2. You're the player, and your every action, your thoughts, your words, your deeds, directly taps into and modifies those streams. 3. When you do positive things like helping another player or acting with integrity, you purify those streams. You're basically running a healing spell on reality. 4. When you do negative things, gossip, cruelty, you tap into those same streams and corrupt them. You create glitches, lag, and corrupted zones in your personal reality, places of chaos and suffering. And 5, the most important rule of all, your choices directly determine the stability and the quality of your personal game world.
So let's bring this immense cosmic picture all the way down to our daily lives. This is not just mystical trivia for a bookshelf. This is a practical user manual for reality. So how do we actually apply this profound truth? Let's wrap it all up. We can finally go back to King Solomon on that balcony, but now we see him with new eyes. We can finally understand his vision. His statement wasn't one of despair at all. It was a statement of immense responsibility. He saw that the world isn't some solid, indifferent machine. It is a fragile, breathtakingly complex tapestry woven from these divine breaths, sustained moment by moment by a flow that we ourselves have the power to influence.
So this is your user manual. Your words, they are not just sounds. They are literal breaths, Hevelim, that you exhale into the cosmic system, and they either build reality up or tear it down. Your actions are never in a vacuum. They send ripples through these currents, purifying or corrupting the very energy that sustains you and everyone around you. A simple act of genuine kindness, chesed, releases a sustaining white current into the world. A moment of lashing out in anger releases a destructive red current. You are not a passive observer in this life. You are an active co-creator, constantly choosing which frequencies to broadcast.
You know, this knowledge leaves us with an awesome responsibility. It means every single moment is a choice. Every interaction is a chance to either strengthen the world or to introduce another glitch. Every breath you take is an opportunity to participate in the ongoing act of creation. So the only real question left is, which reality are you going to choose to breathe into existence today?
Thank you so much for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes, the orchard of these deep mystical ideas. It's truly been a privilege to explore the secret of the 7 holy breaths with you all today.
Our deepest hope is that these ancient truths don't just stay as ideas, but that they become practical tools that help you and your family improve your own corner of the world, starting this very week. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, it would mean the world to us if you'd like, subscribe, and maybe share this with someone who'd appreciate it. And please let us know in the comments which part of this journey really touched your soul. We read every one of them. We'll see you in the next chapter.